Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gaming Pubcast episode number 36. I think
so, yes. We probably should have thought of that before recording.
We should. But I'm going to put my neck out and say it's episode 36.
I think it's 36, yes.
I'll be the fool guy if it's incorrect.
You Google it.
As you can see, it's all three of us, and as you can see,
Hi, everyone.
Two cameras for those watching on YouTube, because Duncan has broken into Tom's home, hasn't he? So
yes,
I've actually been kidnapped.
He's told me a few times to leave, but
he's been here a week. In fact, one of the dogs has been growling at him for the last hour.
He's been here long enough now. He's got rights. Legally evict him.
He's got marital rights.
It's a bit bigger than my house, so yeah. I think I'll stay. No, I'm. Yes, we're sitting together in the same building.
That's it. Stop touching me. How are you, Martin? You all right?
Yeah. I am good. Yeah, it's had a good week gaming wise. I've been doing quite a bit of gaming this week actually, which is unlike me.
Exciting.
So, there's been a big release this week, hasn't there?
Well, yeah. Well, I've been playing 2 games this week. So I've been playing Yoshi's Woolly World, which isn't the big release this week because that came out quite a few years ago. But that was Tom mentioned it. I think it was on the previous our Mario episode as his favourite sort of spin-off from Mario. It was one of the Yoshi's game, and I was in my town centre, went CEX or Sex or whatever you want to call it, and there it was for £12. I was like, well, I'll pick it up. And I've played it. I've done the first world. I'm on the second world now. And what I've played so far, it's enjoyable. It's just quite a relaxing game. It's not like you're not going to get stressed out because even though there are, it can be a bit challenging trying to find everything, you're not really ever going to die on it. There's not really.
So what kind of game is it? I've seen the
like a platform game. In this version of Yoshi's, he's war, so he's made out of war. I can't remember the bad character comes and steals them, and then you've got to go and collect yarn basically and create the Yoshis back. But yeah, in each level, like most Nintendo platform, there's different things you can collect, and that's sort of the difficult thing because they put them all little nooks and crannies, so it can be quite.
Does it hold up to other Mario games though?
I mean, yeah, the gameplay is as you would expect with a Nintendo game, just really enjoyable, addictive. Yeah, if you're on it. Sometimes when I go on it, I'm stuck on it for a good night, sort of hour or couple of hours, even if I just planned only to be on it for, I don't know, not that long, because you do one level, you think, quickly do another one, and then you do another one, etc. But yeah, it's it's not like a AAA God of War game or whatever. Whatever.
Oh, it is from the Wii U.
What it is, it's for £12. It's really good. And the other game I've been playing is Dragon's Dogma 2, which came out on Friday. I got it delivered on that day. And that has, I've only played.
You got this version.
I did. Where I can, I usually go hard copy rather than soft copy. I can't think of the opposite of a hard copy. Then digital. So I've only played. I've been quite busy this weekend, so I've only managed to get a few hours of it. But what I've played so far, I've really enjoyed it. Most of the reviews have been quite positive for it, but there has been some sort of criticisms on the performance side.
Yeah, technical wise, I think it's on Steam. I think it's on a mostly negative, which is unfortunate. But I think that says more about the Steam, whether you have a thumbs up or thumbs down kind of thing. Because
players are mainly complaining about the frame rates, like the performance issues. There's also some complaints about microtransactions, so they've put some stuff where you have to. Well, you don't have to, because you can buy everything with the in-game currency, but like stuff like quick travel, you can do by microtransactions, and people just think that should be just something you can do.
So is there fast travel without
there is fast travel, but you've got to pay for it with like the game. So if you're playing the game now, then people say, well, if you want to change your character's appearance, that's another thing where you either pay with the money you make in the game, or you can pay like 99p or something. And again, people are saying like in other RPGs, that's just something that is free, if you want to change the character. So that's like another sort of complaint. In terms of like, for me though, I'm never like the microtransaction stuff aside. I'm not planning on changing my character, and I'm quite like traveling at the moment because there's a lot in the world, so I don't mind having to go from different when I'm doing different quests or whatever. And I'm never, unless like the performance is, it looks like a PlayStation 3 game or whatever, then that's the only time where I would probably make a complaint. But frame rates, I'm never someone who's going to complain about a game due to frame rate. As long as it plays well enough, then I'll be happy with it.
If a game's programmed well and still has to be 30, it's normally pretty good. There was a game that came on Game Pass recently that was, what was it called? Bookwalker or something? And I tried it, and the frame rate on that was awful, and it made me feel nauseous playing it. And it's the first time ever.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing it on the PlayStation 5, so I think the main complaints about the performances from PC users. So
yeah,
maybe the Steam Deck. Maybe people that are playing things on Steam now are mostly using Steam Deck. And let's face it, I think the Steam Deck now is at a time where a lot of the games don't work as well on it.
Yeah, well, you have to turn down the settings and you have to have what is basically, they say it's 800p, but 720p, what most people know. And you have to have a lot of AAA games on low settings.
And there is the performance like setting on. That's another complaint, is people can't do anything with the setting is just set and you can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
PC. I would think the good thing is nowadays is that it's from Capcom, so they will fix it. They will make it better, or the developer will.
Yeah.
It's not running great, but I think it shows more about the Steam mostly negative from the thumbs up or thumbs down. That's basically their review system. And I think it shows the problems with that in the fact that it's just the technical issues.
Yeah. The actual game, though, is like one of the quests I was saying just before we came in. I was doing a quest where someone had to get me into the city. The guy who was taking me there died during the trip. He went in water and got like drowned. And I thought, okay, that was quest over. I'm gonna have to restart the quest. No, it just says you're going to have to find a different way of getting in the city. End up having to get myself arrested to get in the city. So there's a lot of big where it just adapts, and you can pretty much kill any character you see, like any NPCs, people who are like quite main characters in the game. You could just potentially just go and kill them. I haven't done that yet, but they've just left it. You don't have to go and do like the main story. Obviously, most RPGs are like that, but you can, and you get told the quests to do, but how you do it is sort of down to you. So
they're quite open-ended quests. Oh, that's good.
I had one where there was like a nest with eggs in it. I can't remember what sort of animal it was, and it was like, can you go and set fire to the nest? But I didn't. I just went in and just started like hitting it with my sword. And then the mother came and attacked me, and I ended up having to obviously made it harder for myself because I could have just thrown it over. I ended up having to get all my team with me to try and kill this mother. And then, but that was enough. They were happy with that. They didn't say, you didn't do it the wrong way or whatever, because the ultimate goal is to get rid of the nest and the mother.
Yeah, I saw a video where somebody had to find some. It was some token or an antiquity of some kind, and so you could either go and buy it from somebody, or you could go and forge it, or get it forged and give them a fake kind of thing. And there was the person who did the video, they got the forgery done, and that was it. It was 2 people that wanted it. So they went and killed the one person, gave the forgery to the other person, and then sold it, kind of thing. So there was about 5 different ways how they could do it. They could have done what the first person asked. They could have done what the second person asked and got the real thing and paid for it, or they could have stolen it. And there were so many different ways how they could complete it. It was very my kind of thing.
Yeah, and there was well, this will be the last thing I say on it, but because you can kill the NPCs, I have seen people putting within their reviews. Okay.
Technical issues, yes.
Issues. The battery went.
Yes. So you were talking about killing NPCs.
Yeah, so my last bit about Dragon's Dogma 2 is that I did see people comment on their reviews in regards to how to get past the frame rate issue was to kill as many NPCs as possible. Some person said that I didn't want to do it, but I had to butcher everyone in the city because just to get the performance up on the game. So again, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Obviously, a bad thing.
Any excuse,
but it just shows sort of the game, the freedom of the game in terms of what you just can sort of just do whatever you want to do. Basically, there's no sort of very limited in the restrictions on what you can do. So yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 for me, definitely a thumbs up.
Excellent. I definitely want it. It looks really good. Sort of sort of like Greedfall, which I love that game, mixed with The Witcher, Skyrim, all those kind of games. But then I have got the first one, so I may play through the first one on Steam Deck first. Because as I think I said last week, I have got the first one. Well, at least, we've actually been playing the AAA game that's come out this week.
What am I?
What have you been playing? I think I can see what somebody's been playing.
I've been playing PlayStation Vita. I've decided to pull it out, and it's not the only thing I've been playing, but
it's the only thing you've been pulling out and playing with.
So Need for Speed Most Wanted, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, Wipeout 2048, great game, and Virtual Tennis 4. We've got to talk about that game. But yeah, it's been quite nice. I'm considering.
I like the virtual tennis games. I quite like them. They're good fun, but they're not.
They don't last very long.
No, after about half an hour, you're about 3 matches or something. You're like, I want to play something else.
Yeah, but no,
this brings back memories.
Great game, and it's nice to get it, out and playing the Vita, and it's now charging beside me.
This says PlayStation Network. Can you play this online still? No, they shut down the.
But there's still plenty of things you can play with it. So it's really, really good. And I've also been playing the new Sonic game, which is the rehash of Sonic 1 and 2.
Sonic Origins?
Sonic Origins, is it? Something like that. And it's really, really good.
It's Sonic 1 and 2?
Yeah, it's like an amalgamation of all the levels and characters. It's a lot harder to play than the originals. Graphically, it's amazing. It's faster. Really, really enjoyable game. And it's also very relaxing to play. Whereas I found Sonic 2 infuriating. So,
they're so hard. We talked about this another time. But the Sonic games are a lot harder than people remember.
Yeah.
Well, Green Hill Zone. That's nice. Everybody loves that. Then you play.
They're not an industrial one.
Then you have and then you have Casino Zone. And from casinos after the Casino Zone, then it just gets really, really hard. Yes, it's doable, but to actually get there with what do you start? 3 lives, 4 lives to get to the end of that game properly without cheating. So hard. Because it's not like Mario where you can go, I'm low I'm low on lives. I'm going to go back to level 1. Or like Super Mario World, I'm going to go back to the first level, or whatever level, stock up on lives. You've got to go. You can't go back to a previous level. But no, is it Sonic? Is it Sonic?
Sonic Superstars, which is
okay.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know that. It was Sonic Origins. I was just re-releases. So it's. Oh, okay. Yes. So no, that's not Sonic Origins. I thought.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, it seems to. Yeah, it has like a collection of everything from all the other games, and it combines the 3D and the. I don't know. It's 3D, 2D. The fish jump out at you, so in theory, it would work on VR.
Look, I remember the screenshots reminded me of the difference between if you get Super Mario World and Sonic, and you compare them to Super Mario Wonder. And if you got Sonic 1 and 2 and compare them to this, it's a similar kind of upgrade.
Yeah. It's
looks very pretty.
It's a joy. It really is a joy to play. And I think there's a demo of it on PlayStation 5, Martin. It'd be worth checking out.
What are you playing it on, Tom? Sorry.
PlayStation 5.
You're playing on the PlayStation.
Yeah. So there is a demo, or I think you get like 15 minutes of free play on it if you want to decide whether you want to buy the game. But it's definitely worth buying. And yeah, it's good.
You have the Steam Deck as well, isn't it? If you wanted to.
This game, Wipeout 2048, brings about memories from PlayStation 1. But you can put the CD into a CD player and play the soundtrack.
Yeah. This is
it's 10 new tracks with touch and tilt controls. Ooh.
Yeah, it definitely plays better than the original. I know. Graphically, it's fantastic.
See, it has gyro controls and tilt controls, which I've never. People rave about the Steam Deck's gyro controls. I tried them, and I'm like, this is awful. Like, people play first-person shooters by going like this. I'm like, okay, I've gone past something. I've gone past, and I'm the same with even like Mario and stuff. When people are like, yeah, doing this. No, thanks. Give me a D-pad.
Well, the Vita had a touch thing on the back, which was awful. But obviously, it also had the just moving the actual unit from side to side. But
there was about 2 games on that used the back well.
Yeah.
What was the one? There was one with paper or something, wasn't there? Oh, I can't remember what it was. But yeah, there was a couple of sort of platforming. I know Little Big Planet used it very well.
Yeah, I do have more of these, and Little Big Planet is the one that I have upstairs. And I can't remember what else I have. I think I've got Batman, is it Black Ops or Blackgate?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's a very good game. So
I've got one myself. It's hidden in my house somewhere. I don't know where exactly it is, because I think all I've got is Little Big Planet and FIFA. I want to say FIFA 17, 16. No, it'd be 14, wouldn't it?
yeah,
FIFA 14.
that played really well.
Oh, for the time, yes, it played very well. But it was a basic version, but fully it had all the features, but not all the features. I don't know. But anyway, if you go back to it now, it would be, wow, that's really basic. Yeah, no, it was all right. I loved the Vita. I thought it was great, just having the specific memory cards and whatnot. It just made it so expensive to.
I don't think I've got a memory card in this one.
I can't remember how much it was, but I remember it was an 8 megabyte or something I had, memory card. No, it must be bigger than that. It must have been something like 64 megabytes or something. I don't know. But anyway, it was only one that you would save games on, and it was really expensive.
There were 2 versions of the Vita, weren't there? There was this one, which is the original, and then there was the one with the more classic-y body, and the screen was LCD rather than QLED.
They had 2 versions to start with. You had the 3G one, the one that had 3G built in.
This is 3G. Yeah. Never used it on 3G, but Yeah, it's good. I mean, I love it. I'm considering hacking it with legal ROMs, of course. But yeah, it doesn't.
The games.
I do. It doesn't have a memory card in it. I don't know where the memory cards go. How little? What's that?
I was going to say, I think there's a thing that says memory card on it somewhere. I don't know.
Well, it does have something in it.
Nowadays, with my eyesight, I probably couldn't see myself.
Oh, it's an 8 gig memory card. There we go. It does have an 8 gig memory
Hey,
card.
there we go.
So that is potentially.
Was that micro SD?
Yeah.
Or was that just a generic?
Proprietary.
Sorry, that's yes, that's a proprietary one.
Yeah.
The PS Vita.
So that's essentially
8
everything from
gigabyte.
19.
Maybe it's an 8 gigabyte there, but not an 8
8
megabyte.
MB would be
8 megabytes.
PlayStation
You used to have PlayStation 1s that were 8 megabyte ones, didn't you?
Well, I think that's essentially everything from Atari up to what? Probably
Probably
Jaguar.
NES though. NES's games were always a few kilobytes kind of thing. So probably either Mega Drive or SNES.
I think a complete SNES collection is 750 megabytes.
Oh, blimey.
I know. So that'll keep me going for a while. It's all good. So I'll report back when I hack it. So
Well, I've just been playing things that come on Game Pass. So I've been playing, what's it called? Lightyear Frontier, which is it's you basically put on a planet. You have to farm, build things. It's quite a basic building and farming thing. There's no horror aspect. It's very bright. Reminds me of Slime Rancher a bit. And your mech doesn't have fuel or anything like that. It just runs, so you don't have to worry about that. But there are some places that the mech can't go. I haven't got very far into the story because there's various alien structures around, but there's creatures that you can feed, different machines that you can build. So it's got very much a Slime Rancher sort of, not even a Stardew Valley kind of vibe, but My Time at Porsche, that kind of game. Basic. That's that dog snoring. It's got a snoring dog here. Probably can't hear it on the microphone, but it's proper snoring. Oh, bless him. Anyway, so I've been playing Lightyear Frontier. Also, Hitman. Sean Bean's back. Sean Bean is back to kill. He hasn't been available for 4 years, and before that it was 2 years, so he's not available very often. So when people hear this, I think they will have about 3.5 weeks to kill him.
So you kill Sean Bean.
He is one of the targets that you
not
get.
died enough. No,
and that was the joke. Really, he was
in video games now.
Yeah, he was announced with big fanfare that it was like you could kill Sean Bean, the man that's get killed so much, and he's there to be killed. And I killed him by, how the Joker kills that guy when he says in The Dark Knight, when he said, "Do you want to see a magic trick?" And he puts the pencil down and bang, the pencil disappears into the man's face. I basically killed Sean Bean like that. Yeah, it was great fun. He just stands in front of this pen thing, and you just go up and there's a prompt: kill with pen. Okay. And that was it. It was great fun. Get on, and also I think, don't quote me on this, I believe it's free for everybody. As in, anybody can play because the base game is free for Hitman, and they have, I think, every month they have a different level that's available to play. And this time, this Sean Bean one is the free thing, so you can both play it if you want. I'd highly recommend Hitman. It's one of my favourite games ever. It's so much fun. I mean, let's face it, I was wandering around at the beginning of the level dressed as a clown. I killed him dressed as a pink flamingo, and then nicked a didgeridoo off a musician before I exited the level. So, it's not every game that's the description that you can make of what you've done in the game. So, get out there, download it, play the game for free.
Incidentally, I've just remembered one other game I've played, and Martin, you have to try this game out. It's Silent Hill: The Short Message.
Oh,
on PS5.
The preview.
Preview, yeah. 3.5 hours of horror.
No, thanks.
It's really, really good.
Oh, is it on PS5? Oh, shucks. I won't be able to play it.
I have one upstairs. I'll bring it down for you.
I've got to go home in a minute. Oh, it's getting a bit late.
It's such a good twist. It's a bit less horror and more psychological, but it's really
That's
good.
solid. It should be solid.
Yeah, it deals a lot with suicide and poor mental health and things like that. But the way they do it, it's really haunting, and there is a twist with your own character, depending on how you take the story. But it is quite scary. And then you walk into certain rooms, and the mannequins move, and then you see something suddenly burst out of somewhere and chase you down the corridor, and then you get text messages from your friend, and then you find out your friend's actually dead. And yeah, it's outstanding.
So did you just spoil it for him?
No.
Oh, okay. So there's a bigger twist.
There's a bigger twist.
Oh, well, there you go.
And Martin, 3.5 hours of sheer horror.
For free.
Maybe I'll go from that to Yoshi's Woolly World. And,
Oh, there you go. Hitman for free and Silent Hill: The Short Message.
Well, you might need Yoshi after you play this game.
yeah, some light relief, won't it?
Is Yoshi gonna kill me? Just gonna find out from Yoshi that he's been dead all along.
Yeah.
This wall is actually my modification.
Yeah.
Turns into a horror game at the end, Yoshi, when you get into the last world.
That would be good.
Somebody said about that on the Gaming Dads group. They said, "Oh, well, you don't get cutesy horror games." And so I posted one. There was Amanda the Adventure, or something. The Adventures of Amanda. That's on Steam, and it's literally this little girl. It's set up as like a 90s cartoon kind of thing, or 90s CD-ROM. And there's a little sheep on there that every time this little Amanda's not looking, it's like, help me, kind of thing. And it's so you do get cutesy horrors. So you never know, Yoshi might be out to kill you.
Did you do the Quarry? That's come out on Game Pass?
It has come on Game Pass. I actually own that. I haven't actually ever finished it though. Not because of my being a wuss, but because it just it hasn't really grabbed me as quickly as some of the other supermarket games. It's good. It's got sort of your traditional slasher horror vibes to it. It's a kids camp that's closed down. All the kids have gone home, and the staff who are all like teens kind of thing are meant to leave, but don't for various reasons. And the person who's the manager is like, "Oh my God, you've got to leave! You've all got to leave! Oh God! All right, okay." And then, but that's not. Who's Dewey on Scream? Arquette, David Arquette.
Yeah.
David Arquette's in it. So
Dewey, I was just thinking
it's
about
good if you like Supermassive games, Quantic Dreams, all those kind of things. You'll like it. It just hasn't grabbed me as much as things like that.
It's got like 180 odd different endings, hasn't it? That's I think it does.
But I definitely.
You haven't ended it once yet, though. So.
There's definitely some of the characters that I don't care if they die. There's one particular girl that's just like she's just a complete B. Yeah, I'm just like, I couldn't get whoever it is that's going to kill people. Could you just kill her, please? And every opportunity, like when it's like this is a big choice, it's like I don't really care. Yes. And then what's the worst thing that I could say for her? But yeah, no, on that, it's not that it's a bad game. It just isn't as good as their other games for me. But
I like Inside by Playdead. Have you?
Oh yes, that's sort of a spiritual sequel to Limbo.
Yeah, and then you got the dog chases you as you then jump into the river, and you easily get shot or harmed, and it's quite haunting.
Have you seen the ending to that?
I haven't got that far yet.
Oh, The ending is available, readily available on YouTube. You end up going into this like machine where there's loads of people that have all been put into a blob, and you can end up controlling this blob, and you just destroy things. There's this big blob thing that's got arms and legs popping out of it. And when I say big, I mean like, there's the people on the screen, and this blob is like that big kind of thing. So yeah, it's an intriguing, almost horror-like ending. But then again, Limbo was pretty scary game because you never knew when that big spider was going to jump out. Yeah, I'm not an arachnophobe, but my God, it was terrifying in Limbo.
Apparently, they've got a new game coming out, so
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they're a very good.
Doesn't say what the new game is, I might add, but it's there on their website.
It'll be another
haunting saga.
2D platformer.
Yeah.
But yeah, inside it didn't. It was probably easier than Limbo, but they didn't. Yeah, there's another one. I would put Limbo above it, and inside second. It didn't quite grab me as much as Limbo. Limbo, there was always that. Like that, I think I could work this out, and you had to test it, but then you died, so you had to test it again. And sometimes, you'd be testing something about 500 times. But no, they're both fantastic games. Again, like you said, haunting, so they're not really not cheery games.
Great in when you play them in VR as well, because it's so big in front of you, and it does.
You've been playing on the
does envelop you a little bit.
On the Quest.
And on the PlayStation VR as well. I've got Limbo for that, and it does kind of, it feels like you're actually in the game. It's a bit more, I don't know, spine tingling, should we call it?
Especially when that first time the spider comes out in Limbo. And you just stand there, you're like, it can't reach me, and it goes, it just spikes you from distance. And even, there's various ways it can kill you, because you think, I'm safe here, and then you're not. Great game. Limbo. I think I own it on about 4 platforms. I think I've only ever paid for it once though. I think it was given away with Games with Gold. I think I've got it in maybe a package somewhere. I think I've got it free on Epic maybe as well.
I've got a few various, and it's available on Android as well.
But speaking of PSVR.
Yes,
you'd heard, hadn't you? And it's been. I've read it now.
So PlayStation have decided, and this has not been announced. PlayStation or Sony PlayStation have decided they're not going to produce any more PlayStation VR 2 units.
I think they're paused production.
They're pausing the production because there's too many units out there and no one's buying them. Now, there's a few things on this. There aren't many games out for it. The games that they have got, to be honest, are very forgettable. And the price is the same, if not more now, than the PS5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you can get even the Meta Quest 3 for basically the same as a PS5, which has the great pass-through, more powerful processor, but you can get a Meta Quest 2 for quite often in sales.
149 at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, if you go on eBay, you can 150 quid easily for it.
I'm assuming there's a lot more games on the Meta Quest 2.
They're not as good.
I mean, but you can connect if you've got a powerful enough PC, you can connect it up to your PC and play your Steam VR games.
Well, that's something they've just done with the PSVR 2. They've released, or are about to release, the patch to make it connect to your PC and play PC. So that's something they're doing. One interesting missing feature.
Because the technology is there.
Yeah, massively, But one big missing feature is the fact it doesn't allow you to play 3D Blu-ray. And I know that's not a massive thing nowadays, but with Avatar and Avatar 2 and something like that, it's there. And people
I gotta go. No one cares nowadays. I mean, it failed. 3D Blu-rays just fell flat. Even at the cinema. I'm not saying people don't use them, but it went from a big push, and they, Hollywood pushed 3D, and everyone in the end just went, nah, I'm fine, thanks.
I buy 3D movies and I collect them. I've got about 50 or 60, and I enjoy the original PlayStation VR to watch them on. It's a bit grainy, but I enjoy it. Annoying thing is when you buy one, the downloadable movie is always taken or expired, so you can't put them on the Quest, which also does 3D movies. Unbeknown to most people. So, but yeah. So, what do we think? The PlayStation VR 2 is it a failure?
Well, I think when you're going up against, I think people on the PlayStation don't want VR that much. I think that's the fact. I mean, people who have it love it, but people who play VR generally are either they want a standalone thing where they can just whack it on the sofa, do something, wave their arms about, and then take it off.
So is it the wire?
Yeah, I think the fact that it's wired, the fact that you have to have a PS5. A lot of people, a lot of people haven't got PS5 and an Xbox and this and this.
Yeah.
People paid, like you said, 450 quid. They're not going to pay out. I bought a Steam Deck, so I'm not about to buy a VR headset as well. I had a choice of one or the other. And
close to £1,000, wouldn't it, to get the PS5 as well as the headset when you look at the prices? And like Duncan said, if you've got a PS5, you've got the PS5 because you just want to play normal games. Whereas, if you're getting a Meta Quest or whatever, you specifically want to play virtual reality. People aren't buying a PS5 because, well, some people may, but majority of people aren't getting a PS5 because they're thinking, I want to get the PSVR 2.
No.
They just want to get the PS5 so they can play God of War and Horizon or whatever, and Spider-Man, all their games or whatever, or not just their exclusives.
The 3D movies, like I said, me personally as well, it was probably before I got glasses, and my left eye, I found out why I wear glasses now, is my left eye is not as good as it should be. So whenever I went to watch 3D movies at the cinema, I'd always, about every 5 minutes, have to sort of take it off and just watch it blurry for a bit. Like take the 3D glasses off, because it wasn't very 3D for me.
No.
It's probably now that I've worked out, it's probably because I was only watching it with one eye, because my left eye was just going, no, I don't do anything. But I am one of the people who, so I don't care if it does or doesn't.
The reason it probably doesn't have many games is because it's not that popular, is it? So people aren't going to, or developers aren't going to make games for a.
And ironically, it is the most powerful VR headset on the market at the moment.
So is it more powerful than the Oculus? And
yeah, it's the most powerful VR headset.
Is that because the Apple thing is a spatial computer?
Yeah, it's in the demos of that they say, do not refer to it as a VR headset. Yep. It is not, and it isn't. When you try it, and you try and do VR. You literally can't do anything if you try to move. It takes you out of the feature, so it almost brings you back into the reality. It's not built for VR. It does play VR games though, so it's really weird.
It's a non-VR thing that does VR.
Yeah,
but doesn't do VR.
I don't know. We need a price cut, I think.
Yeah, if they start going, right, we're going to do £600 for the PS5 and the PSVR 2.
I think,
it would be worth it, because that's 150 quid. But the fact that it's £500,
200 quid, or maybe 250 for the headset.
So, like you say, if they plan on now allowing you to use it on PC games, on Steam, whatever, then you're then getting a separate market, because people might want the PSVR 2 and not want a PS5. So you kind of just the market's so limited at the moment, because they need someone who wants a PS5 as well as a PSVR 2. So if you just want one or the other.
If you've got a powerful computer and you've got £500 burning a hole in your pocket, then getting something that's got crisper visuals and whatnot. The only issue being is it's wired, not wireless. So it all depends on where you're playing, what you're going to play, how you're going to play. If you're playing sitting down on your gaming chair, just playing sitting wherever you are, then it doesn't matter if it's wired or wireless, really.
Vision Pro's wired.
Yeah, well,
with the battery cord.
Only to the back pocket, though.
Yeah.
Not to any device.
And you can connect that to the mains and still play.
Ooh, right.
I know.
If I had a powerful computer and I was just playing VR sat at a gaming chair, then I'd possibly get the PSVR 2 over the MetaQuest 3 because there's only like £20 difference, I think, with the normal price. Yeah. And that's for the small storage one. But I think I'd want the option of being able to go, I'm going to slap this on my head and walk out the room while still playing. Whee! Kind of thing. So
when you look at the other headsets, like the PSVR 2 isn't, like, compared to the others, it's priced pretty well at the rate that most headsets go. But it's just the fact you've got to get a PS5 with it, then it will see increase of that. It's just a headset on its own which allows you to play games either on a PS5 or on a PC, and you had that between that or the MetaQuest or the Hive or whatever, then it probably would be a bit more popular, wouldn't it? But
the Optimus, I think it's called, VR headset, which is 12K, which is the next step up from PSVR 2, and that is thousands. I mean, I think it's like £5,000 a headset, which is mental. And you don't get controllers with it, as far as I'm aware. I could be very wrong on that, but I think you have to use Valve controllers on it. So Valve are obviously working on a new VR headset, which is yet to be fully announced. So really, you've got PlayStation VR 2, MetaQuest 3, MetaQuest 2, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got some small manufacturers I can't think of off my hand, but they're
HTC do one, don't they? HTC.
If you're looking at that's the 5, but they haven't updated that in 5 years.
Pro 2 now, but
they've got a new one out. Oh, there you go.
I don't know when it came out, but yeah, they've got one called the Vive Pro 2. But
if I was to get one, if I had £500 burning in my hole, burning in my pocket, burning a hole in my pocket, not burning my hole. Burning a hole in my pocket, I personally would go for the MetaQuest 3 because you can wear it on its own, you can connect it to a PC, so it has everything that you would need in that sense. And I don't have a PS5, so I suppose I'm biased towards not having the PS5.
I know we have discussed on previous episodes about VR. I think like the main thing, just in the whole market, the thing that just holds it back is the pricing, isn't it? It's just there isn't really a cheap. If you want to get a certain standard, you're having to pay probably more than you would have to pay for a console. So it'd be interesting to see if someone does just release one at a price point where people will be more willing to say,
I think that's where Valve will come in. Because I think they'll do a Steam Deck where it's one that works really well. It may not be the most powerful one, but it'll be £400 kind of thing, and it'll be equivalent to sort of MetaQuest 3, but it will be like it will play Steam games kind of thing.
Yeah. That's what you need, isn't it?
But it'll built in, but it will play Steam games on a big screen kind of thing. So, and all you need, I say all you need, a Valve engineer would hear that and go, oh yeah, is that all that's needed, is it? But all they need is something like the Steam Deck power in the band or the head or wherever. Obviously, you've got heat transferring everywhere, but they're the engineers, they're working out. You need something like that so you can go, I want to play Cyberpunk, ding, 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 or now I want to play a VR game, ding, 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 ding.
And still have a decent battery life.
Ooh, yeah.
2 hours play.
Wired.
to play a game. Yeah, I don't know.
The problem with VR and the rendering is the fact that you have to render everything twice because you can't have. It's not the same screen that you're looking at. It's slightly off, so you have to render everything twice. So if you've got the screens, you've got to have. It's not just two screens with the same picture on. You've got to have two different. It's like having split screen on a thing. You've got to have that game be able to play twice, and it's the same with VR. Is that you've got to have the same world or whatever you're looking at rendered twice, and you need a full process of that.
That's why they're doing the thing now where, I think it is specifically on the. I don't know, it's on the Quest 3 and the PlayStation VR 2, where they have the point where you're looking at, which is in your vision as such, and it's not blurry, and then everything outside of that uses less processing power. And it's
the gaming thing is everything that you're focused on will be very high resolution. And then everything. A tree that's 500 will probably be about 2 or 3 pixels, but then when you come into it, it will get more polygons and get more definition.
You go from a Sega Mega Drive graphics to PlayStation 5 graphics.
Yeah,
basically.
Pretty much.
Like Sonic when it's in VR.
But hopefully, Nintendo come back into the virtual market since they haven't done anything since the Virtual Boy, have they? It's like their last.
Another thing to give me a headache.
I just can't see it, but you never know. They had that. What was that paper thing they had? I've got one upstairs where you can make.
Oh, the no, not Haribo. That's the sweets. Oh, yeah,
cardboard.
It's the cardboard, and you have the lab.
Oh, yeah.
You
On
can
the
make
Switch,
like a piano and all things like that. But they made one where it has a VR headset, and you put the Switch in, and then you could wear it, and it was a VR headset.
Labo.
Yeah.
Labo.
And there was a couple of
There
sets.
was a piano, there was the scooter one, there was the fishing.
There was a VR headset.
It was very well received, I think, but it didn't necessarily sell as well or last very long because it was
too many trees were killed in the making of this.
It was cardboard, and it was although it was technically very good. It was cardboard, and it was expensive.
Yeah.
Few people got it, and probably still have it as a.
I've got one set up in the loft, and I paid £2 for it at a boot sale, and it was completely unused, but it was good fun. There we go, VR kit.
I was just looking if you can still get it.
The Labo VR kit. Here we go.
There we go. Yeah, I'm just trying to work out if you can actually get it. But it's compatible with Super Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Smash Bros., Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. You can actually buy it though.
So the Switch is actually a VR machine. We just
pretty much.
It'll just split the screen into two, basically, and you'll feel like you're in VR.
Well, you had what's called Google Cardboard, which was literally they would send you out. I think you could get it free from some places.
Yeah.
But I ended up buying a plastic one that you could get, and you could just slide your phone in and use your phone as a VR headset, and it worked really well.
Yeah.
And then they just went, "Yeah, we're abandoning that." Oh, all right then.
I've got one in the loft.
I
only worked with the Pixel 4, which I never had.
know I had it with a Galaxy of some kind. I think.
That's it. Samsung did one as well. Yeah.
It was just there was VR. There was VR that you could have, and as long as you downloaded certain apps or whatever, you could just put it into these plastic. Although, if you wanted it to work with the buttons on it, it had to be certain phones, which mine was. Yeah, it was a Galaxy Gear. That was it.
That's it. Yeah.
The Galaxy Gear. Oh,
The Google one was all like a fabric head. It was actually a beautiful piece of kit. It really was. But like you say, it didn't last very long. But it was a beautifully made VR headset structure.
Look on Amazon, you can actually buy VR headsets that for the Switch, like VR sort of holders.
There we go.
Imagine the radiation.
Well, for something that's not, I don't quote me on this, but I believe it's about 720p. The Switch. So you're basically putting 360 pixels on each eye. Hang on, no, that's that way. So it would be 1280. So you're putting about 600 pixels on each eye, plus minus the ones that are in the middle and on the edge. So it's going to look blurry as anything. It's not going to look good. So I wouldn't go out and buy one of them. But anyway, so we talked about PlayStation.
Move on.
The other thing that was brought up was PlayStation Pro.
Yeah,
I think that enough places have talked about it now that they think it's real or they know it's real and they're like, oh, somebody else has posted it. We'll go, hey, look. But yeah, there's literally specifications come out.
Yeah, we've got ray tracing, speed, whatever that means. A GPU which is 33.5 teraflops. Get that right. Sony's new upscaling technology. What else we got here? The system memory will be 570 gigabytes a second. I think that means 28% increase over the standard console. And the system memory will be more efficient, and the bandwidth gain will increase by a 28% boost. So,
I think the most what it means mostly is you'll get ray tracing probably at 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Whether you'll get 4K, maybe, I don't know, but it just means your games like that have ray tracing in already. Let's say, I know something simple like Hitman. Yeah, you will probably be able to get possibly 4K, but most likely you'll get 1440p ray traced 60 frames per second. And then your AAA games that are more recent, you might get that. Yeah, and it'll just mean the difference between games that currently only get 60 frames per second at 1080p or 1440p on PS5 and Series X. You'll get either faster frame rate or you'll get ray tracing, and with the upscaling, they might be able to upscale to 4K. Depends on how well it works, because obviously at the moment you've got FSR and DLSS on a PC, and a lot of people hate FSR. Not hate it, but think DLSS is much better. Do you know what upscaling is? Yeah. Basically, so you got something that's 720p, and it goes, I'll just stick some extra pixels in there so you look a bit crisper. It can, if you try and upscale something from 720p to 4K, it can make it look worse. But if you're trying to get something from 1080p to 1440p, it can make it look a lot better, run a lot better. And nowadays you've got frame generation, which basically can make something go faster frame rate. It looks good. 33 teraflops is a bit of a because it's currently 10 teraflops.
Yeah, it's a big jump.
It's a big jump, but it's a bit of a not a nonsense number. It's a bit of a red herring kind of thing in terms of it doesn't mean it's going to be 3 times as powerful. It will mean you're going to get an extra 20%.
I'm thinking we're going to get a £700 price point on this though. I think it's going to be big. So, interestingly, the Metro's headline, which I agree with, is PS5 Pro will be the most powerful console ever, and no one cares.
Like, I don't know what it is about this generation of consoles, but they still seem like that they've only just come out, even though it was almost 4 years ago. So, when you think of the life cycle of a generation, it's usually
It was 5 years ago, or four and a half nearly years ago.
I thought it was 2020. I thought it was during COVID when they came.
No, it's 2019, I believe.
The PlayStation 5 came out November 12th, 2020.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's definitely COVID. Yeah, because I got the Series S. It was when I started my.
Oh, I stand corrected. I thought it was 5 years.
Yeah. So, but still, almost 4 years into this generation, and when you think most generations go on 6-7 years,
I must have
and we haven't had one Pro console. This would be the first one because obviously the Series X and Series S, we haven't had one. Nintendo haven't, unless you class the Switch as this generation, then Nintendo haven't done anything. But yeah, it does. I don't know if it was just because they weren't available and they were so hard to get, but it just seems like I'm looking at my PS5 at the moment because it's in the kitchen now. And it just still seems like it's really new. The thought of getting like a Pro console and spending like another, well, if Tom's right, more than what I spent on it there just seems something I will definitely not do because it seems like I only got that the other day, even though it's you're 4 years through.
I'm totally with you there. Yeah, I mean, I still look at my Series X as a new console. Although, I had mine on launch date, and
10th of November 2020.
There you go, 2020. So 3.
Yeah, because I got the Series S in November 2020 because it was the only one I could get. Because it was at the time they were all just impossible to get unless you were willing to buy it off someone who.
Have you upgraded your PS5, Martin?
Pardon? Upgraded.
Have you upgraded your is it the SSD you can upgrade? Or is it the...
No, I haven't done anything.
You can add an SSD too.
Yeah.
You can increase the memory, can't you? But no, I haven't. I've just it's, to be fair, I find the memory... I just try and play games at a time. I rather when I had the Series S, I did buy an external HD because I was thinking of Game Pass and just getting loads of games on it. And then I had the Xbox One and all previous generations on the external hard drive, and then I had the actual Series S ones on the actual console. But yeah, with the PlayStation 5, I just
I have an external on my Series X for that reason. Yeah, I just have it for literally the simple games. But now because it's not a powered external hard drive. If I try and boot anything from it, even a sort of Xbox 360 game, it just takes forever. I've been ruined by SSDs and NVMe's because I'm just like, it's been 3 seconds. Why haven't you started, you stupid thing?
It's interesting because I was noticing recently that my kids, have stopped playing the PlayStation 5, and I'm like, why aren't you playing the PlayStation? One of the boys has got Steam Deck. Obviously, they're playing the Quest 3. And then you think, actually, for their generation, it is quite an old console now. So for our generation, a console will last 7 years. And then now, after 3 years, it's out of date. It's done.
Well, considering, 3 and a bit years for both this generation, thinking about the amount of games, just when you compare it to other generations,
again,
you got not something I really thought of it because I just still think it's new, and I'm the games are coming or whatever. But actually, it's not. It's midway through its cycle, pretty much. And
wasn't there that leaked document where Sony said in a meeting that it's coming to the end of its life cycle?
Something like that, and I think there's rumours that obviously with PS Pro and Nintendo Switch 2 coming out probably January to April next year, the PS6 or whatever they're going to call is pretty much decided on specs and everything. But these are all rumours that they've probably got some meat to them, but take it with a grain of salt.
Well, this is where Nintendo got a bit of a jump on the other, where they're not doing the Pro upgrades like Xbox and PlayStation are doing, they have this jump where they can actually get a few 100 million sales in of the Switch 2 before the PlayStation 6 or Xbox, whatever it's going to be, comes out. So maybe this generation
the failure of the Wii U worked in their favor, because the only reason the Switch came out because it probably would have came out sort of the same time as when the Series S and Series X, but because the Wii U flopped that badly, they just sort of released it earlier than and it gave and now it's probably worked in their favor because people just got the Switch, and it means that people get the Switch 2 instead. Because if you have the choice out of PS5 Pro or Switch 2, Switch 2 because it's a whole new console, you're gonna have a whole new load of games that's gonna come with it. You would just wait until like the PlayStation. Well, I would anyway. If I didn't have a PlayStation 5, then I would. Then that would be probably the option I'd go with. But when you've really got a PlayStation 5,
well, I think Nintendo are going to do the whole. It's going to be cheaper than other ones as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although they never really reduce their prices that much, they normally start it off pretty cheaply because it's normally not all about the power and the latest technology.
So I think I think the Switch has just held its price, isn't it? Which is about anywhere like £250 to like £300 which when we compare it to, I know obviously the Series S is sort of around that sort of range, but it is the cheapest option, isn't it? In terms of
Switch came out March 3rd, 2017. That shows how old that is now.
Yeah.
Well, see, I mean that's 7 years. If it's a 7-year cycle, then it's the perfect time for them to bring in the Switch 2. But all they're going to do is actually announce it now.
Apparently, we're going to get an announcement around October time for a next year release.
I've heard, the next year release, but God, only announcing in October.
Apparently so.
God, blimey.
Apparently, it's been they were due to announce it, and then they delayed it for some reason. So, but who knows?
Maybe because it's still really selling really well, isn't it? So
have you ever bought a mid cycle refresh of a thing like a Pro
QLED or one of those?
You had the PS. You had the PS.
Yes, like, would you class the OLED as like a Pro version of the Switch?
We had the PS4 Pro. You had the Xbox One X.
Switch Lite.
You had obviously the Xbox 360. It started off as a 4GB and 32GB models. And then you had the Elite and all that kind of thing.
It started with that the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 generation, wasn't it? Where because all they did, they just added storage, didn't they? They just said, you can now get one which is 100 gig rather than 50. I don't know. I can't remember what the difference in storage was.
That happened back in the day, though. The Nintendo, Super Nintendo had the, I think it was called the SNES Mini, and then you had which it didn't allow you to play certain games. I think it was the FX Chip 2 games wouldn't work in the SNES Mini, so it was the last iteration before they stopped making them. And then the Wii had the Wii Mini, which was black and red. That lost a lot of functions as well. I think online disappeared, and I can't remember what else, but there was a few. I didn't have the GameCube slots.
Port,
and it was unhackable. You couldn't hack it, whereas the original Wii you could.
The Nintendo 64 had the expansion pack. I don't want a new console, but you could get the RAM. They allowed you then to play Majora's Mask. Donkey Kong 64, which you could play without it because it just meant they were just more powerful games, weren't they? So, I guess that Nintendo were the ones who started sort of bringing upgrades to their current consoles. I mean, I haven't, no, because I've always just got the console, like the original console one, because I'm someone who just can't wait. So I'm like, when the PlayStation 6 or whatever comes out, I'll be trying to get it straight away. So, and once I got that console, I'm probably not going to then go and spend the same amount, or if not more, on the same console, just a little bit better. Or
I've never bought like a Pro or a Slim version like Yobi. They had it in the beginning, or when a Pro version comes out, I'm like, ooh, the original one's cheaper. I'll get that one. Thank you very much. And I mean, the Xbox One. Luckily, I think I still had mine when I bought the Series X and I sold mine. What I didn't tell the person that bought it was that I think the hard drive might have been close to failing. It still worked perfectly fine. It's just the speed that it went and the amount of time that it took to load up some games meant that it didn't look good. So if the Series X hadn't come out, I probably would have been replacing mine probably within 6 months. But no, I've never bought a Pro. I've never bought a Slim or anything like that. Because I've always, like you, early adopter.
But then
I've certainly never sold. When I got the Xbox One, the Xbox One X came out. I was like, why? It plays the same games.
Yeah.
I didn't have a 4K TV, so having the One X would have been absolutely pointless for me. If you had a 4K TV in 2017 or whenever the One X came out, great. The One X probably would have been really good, but other than that, there's absolutely no point in it.
No, I'm with you. I've still got my Star Wars limited edition PS4, which I play daily. I barely touch the PS5. It's not mine, it's the kids. But my Switch is still dead. My Nintendo Switch does not power on. It is dead as a doorpost. There's a retro gaming shop just around the corner, and he's offered to test it for free to see if there's any chance of bringing it back to life. So I will look at buying the Switch too.
So Pros aren't something you would do, Tom, but special edition of consoles is something you would. So Nintendo do it all the time, don't they? They'll bring out a Zelda game and they'll bring out a proper.
Xbox do it a lot as well, yeah. But they do a lot of prizes, ones as prizes. We're like, this game is coming out, you could win this version.
But when I used to collect Super Nintendos, and I'll try and show this on the screen for our YouTube viewers. Those are my various Super Nintendo collection, along with Donkey Kong Crate, which is not in this picture. So you have the
Super Scope.
Yeah, Super Scope, Action Pack, obviously the American SNES, the Killer Instinct, FIFA, All Stars, all the Street Fighter packs, and then the Super Game Boy set, the All Stars set, the Donkey Kong Crate, my favourite.
Oh, the Super Game Boy, that was the one that you put in the top and you could put Game Boy games in.
Yeah. So I love box variations. Super Nintendo, I wanted to collect them all.
Like Pokemon.
Sorry?
Like Pokemon, you wanted to collect them all.
Yeah. But it was hard, and there was one particular one. There was the Super Mario Kart Super Nintendo set, and I was just trying to find a picture of it now. The UK variation had Mario racing the kart on the front, and it's super rare. I mean,
I was going to say it must be hard and expensive.
You're talking £300 if you can find it. I never ever found one out in the wild. I know loads of retro gaming store owners; they never got one. And so I stopped at that point. It got to the stage where International Cricket, which is an Australian only release, was about, I think it was about £700. So to get, plus the import fees and things like that. So yeah.
I watched a video, I don't know if you know, but Outside Xbox, I was watching them the other day and they had a price comparison on all their old Xbox One games. And they had, one of them had, because obviously they worked in journalism, they had a boxed and sealed version of Fortnite, as in Fortnite Saved the World.
Wow.
And they looked it up on eBay, and because it wasn't available on the like Music Magpie or something that they were using for the prices, and they looked it up on eBay, and it was going for £160, I think it was, because nobody bought it. Really, and it's now worth an absolute ton. It's weird how games suddenly become available. But yeah, so yeah, if anybody who's listening's got a sealed copy of Fortnite, something saves the world or something, or Fortnite Save the World, I think it's called. But it was basically the original game was a base building shooter, single player shooter, or online co-op kind of
I could
thing.
say my Wii U is a special Zelda Wind Waker edition.
Nice.
And it's not just the box, but the actual Wii U is they got like Zelda writing sort of on it, and came with the Wind Waker game as well. So that's like installed on the console. So
cool. I've never had a special edition of anything.
I had a Pikachu Nintendo 64 as well. So I think it was a Toys R Us.
That's the blue one, isn't it, with the Pikachu on the side?
Yeah, his cheeks would light up when you turn on the N64.
Yeah.
His cheeks would turn red.
I think I had that and sold it, mainly because I absolutely hated Pokemon at the time. So, but yeah, that's the one I've got. I've got the black Wii U. I think it was a Mario Kart pack, if I remember rightly.
Oh, I like that one. It's still black, but it's got the nice icons on the side. The Wind Waker. I'm just looking up your Wind Waker Wii U.
You're looking at Martin's Wind Waker, right?
Oh yeah, Martin's Wind Waker. Very nice. Yeah. Anyway, so we're going on for, if you include the technical issues, we're about an hour and 10 minutes. So, what have we got on this day?
Talking of Wind Waker, that was out 21 years ago today on the GameCube.
Well, there you go. Perfect segue, Martin.
I know. I didn't even plan that as well. So that's just my natural presenting skills.
Oh, and the PSP 19 years ago.
The predecessor to Tom's Vita PSP.
Yeah.
Although the picture they've shown on Game FAQs is the PSP Go, which was awful.
Right for hacking.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't very good. It wasn't very good though.
Is that the? So yeah, do you reckon that is the actual PlayStation P or the PSP Go? Because 19.
Well, the one that slides with sort of little.
No, but I mean the one that came out 19 years ago today, was that the actual?
Yes, good point. I don't know.
So like PSP March 24th. So the original PSP came out March 24th, 2005.
Okay, so
there you go.
The original.
That's a great machine.
Kirby's Adventure on the NES 31 years ago. Oh, in the arcade. There you go, Tom. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo 30 years ago. God, I played that in the arcade. I lost lots of 10 pences to that. Granted, I don't. Whenever anybody would come up, I remember being in the arcades. Whenever anybody would come up and go, "Oh, do you want to play?" No, because I wasn't very good at it. And I think I only ever probably got to about. How many people did you have to find Street Fighter? About 8.
Oh yeah, something like that.
It's about 8. So I think I would only get to about 5-4 or something at best.
It was always a cheat. Play as Chun-Li and then just go left, hit the wall and keep kicking off the back of the wall, and you just beat everyone.
Yeah.
So, including Bison and whatever, Sagat.
Oh, the original Far Cry. The original Far Cry, 20 years ago. I remember having a PC that just about could play that, so it was not a good experience. But fantastic game. Oh, bless you.
Ace Combat Zero was a fantastic game.
Oh, it's airplane sim, isn't it?
Yeah,
Ace Combat.
PS1 was it?
That's PlayStation 2, Ace Combat Zero, The Balkan War, Metal Slug 3, 24 years ago. Blimey. Oh, hang on. March 22nd, 28 years ago, Resident Evil came out in Japan.
Yeah.
And the Resident Evil remake came out 22 years ago on the GameCube. So yeah, Resident Evil, fantastic game. Doesn't really hold up nowadays as being scary, but was reasonably scary back in the day. Especially the acting, the FMV acting.
Not bad.
What would you say is the scariest Resident Evil game? This is something I had a discussion with one of my my mates the other day. We came to the same conclusion actually.
7.
7. Yeah, that's the one we both
Is
said.
it Biohazard? Is that the one?
That's the one where the family, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We both came up.
That's the one that I played in VR.
Yeah.
I was determined to find that tonight, so Duncan could go on it on VR ways here, but unfortunately, I couldn't find it.
That is unfortunate.
Sorry, Duncan.
Oh no! Oh no, that's such a shame.
I let you down, man. I let you down.
Yeah. I'll never play it now. I'll never play it because you let me down.
Have either of you played Village, the newest Resident Evil?
I haven't played The Village, no.
Really
Did you
good.
find that scary?
And no,
No.
not at all. It's too cartoony. The graphics are really cartoony. They're not as realistic as Biohazard.
Which is the one that's got the giant baby in it that you can hear crying? Giant fetus thing. Is that 7? Or is that 8? Oh no, one of them's got a giant fetus baby thing that cries at you, and there's all dolls and whatnot. Yeah,
I haven't got that far.
I've got a feeling it might be 7, but it could be 8. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, I don't. Yeah. I think I own 7 now on Steam. I think I've got it as part of a pack, but I still haven't played it all the way through. I can't get past the family. Yeah, they're just no thanks. And then he starts bashing around that house trying to find you. I'm like, I'll just hide here in this corner and just he's looking at me.
You got to sneak around the house, don't you? Yeah, my friend was going on about how he shot I think it's the dad or whatever, in the head with like a shotgun. And he was like smacking him because and then in the end, the dad just got up and then he just turned it off. He was like, oh, I can't play this.
Nope.
I like where the woman tries to drown you in the basement.
The woman that's the girlfriend who then bites your fingers off or something, isn't she?
Yeah, I like her.
And that's before you go back to the family.
Oh yeah. That's normally the bit I die on. So I don't get very far.
I die inside a little bit every time I play it. I will stop being a wuss at some point, possibly around November, when
The giant fetus
or
is
October, the end of October.
Resident Evil 8, actually. I think it is Village.
We'll stream. I think we're chatting about it, and I am looking at finding a date for me to do a 24-hour thing, which I'm sure we'll all get involved in somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so look at doing a charity thing.
And we should say the next episode is an interview.
Yes.
But I won't be here because
You won't be here because you're.
I'm off gallivanting to the theatre, darling.
You tune in because it's going to be. Yeah, it's the magazine.
Good one.
Yes, should be fun. And we've got a few interviews in the works coming up as well, which we will advertise as soon as they're properly organised. And
And some reviews.
And news and us being us.
And on that note,
Yeah,
Like and subscribe.
Bye bye.
ciao.
Bye.